All right, guys, and welcome to the inaugural edition, I guess, of this thing that I'm going to call the Life of Langley Sports Vlog. Um, I'd want to evolve this thing well past just a fairly short form, non edited. Like to be able to do some cooler shit down the line, but you get to work with what you get to work with. Had this conversation with my girlfriend not too long ago where we discussed her getting into photography and how she didn't require a whole lot of fancy gear and all that just to get started. And it harkened back to a time that when I first started playing music, we didn't need the big amps. We didn't need any state of the art equipment. We didn't need any of that stuff to get started. We just simply did. So I got a set of fucking in ear headphones that are okay. I got a phone camera. And I have moderate sports knowledge. So I've been wanting to try to do something like this for a while, and I just now have the gumption to give it a shot. And we'll see what may come, we'll see what may happen. But for now, I'm going to try my best to scratch an itch, talk about sports, get more involved with more sports than I already have. Um, Obviously, if you are watching this, you're probably familiar that, a huge Tennessee Titans fan, and we got a big day coming up at the end of April, the NFL draft, number one overall pick. And there will be a lot of content that I hope to achieve in the aftermath of that. Not only about the Tennessee Titans and our most likely for future quarterback Cameron Ward. I don't know if his name's actually Cameron, but I'm assuming Cam would be Cameron. But I'm gonna go about doing a what I'm gonna call like a arrow up, arrow down of every team post NFL draft. So you got the first wave of free agency, the second wave of free agency, however many waves you want to call it. The initial free agency period. Obviously players will get signed as training camp start up and as the season comes closer. But kind of doing an arrow up, arrow down of every team as I see it. Which, to be fair, Philadelphia Eagle fans, when I cover your team, it's going to be very hard to say arrow up. You're already at the highest point possible, and you lost a lot of players. But who knows? Maybe I see a dynasty coming. And then on the other side of the coin, it's very hard for the Tennessee Titans not to ascend upwards. Um, but I don't know if I see it quite like that quite yet. Want to see how we round out the draft and if anything else happens between now and then, because you never really know this time of year. Hell, we're still waiting on Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, that being said, I recently very much so discovered a new love. Got into the soccer world a little bit, as you can tell, representing the Lexington Sporting Club here. Was not expecting that. Went to their first game in USL. Goddamn, the USL Championship. It says it right there. There's a lot of news in regards to promotion and relegation, and I think it's USL League One that's coming. That's supposed to rival the MLS as far as being a secondary Tier One soccer league. And promotion relegation is supposed to come soon. We'll get more into that probably as time goes on, and I'm gonna get deeper on LSC further in this video here. But also, in the process of getting into soccer and realizing that I needed an app to watch the USL games and kind of catch up with what the rest of the league's doing, and then discovering more and more about the world game of soccer and this, that, and the other, I've also gotten back into the idea that I can watch a lot of hockey now. ESPN Plus advertised the absolute shit out of it, so I got on. I watched the first USL game this past weekend as the boys lost to El Paso. Again, we'll talk about that. But yeah, there was a bunch of hockey on, and I didn't even realize that ESPN Plus had offered hockey. And as a kid, as a younger kid in the days of Brendan Shanahan, Steve Eiserman, and Nicholas Lidstrom. Lidstrom, damn. I was a Red Wings fan. Never watched hockey as much as I'd like to, but I remember those teams being really fun to watch and really fun to play with on games like NHL Hits and yada yada. So my dad's side of the family's from Michigan, so obviously there's some Michigan Wolverines there. Like I said, I'm gonna have to do a lot more studying on a lot of the other sports outside of the NFL. But that's part of this journey too. Like I said, this soccer thing's completely new, and I just want to kind of share this newfound love and kind of falling back in love with things that I already loved before. As the NCAA tournament just wrapped up, um, I made some comments online about how Calipari wasn't as bad of a coach as the UK contingent would like to think he was. I do think there is something hella ironic about Mark Pope and him going out in the same round, albeit in different fashions. But long story short, UK Nation, this is just an intro video. I'll get deeper on those subjects as we go along here. But maybe you should be nicer to Cal and maybe, quit showering Mark Pope with all the roses until he's truly proven otherwise. He had a great year, don't get me wrong, and I'm looking forward to what he can do. But I know Calipari was a long time with a whole lot of nothing. But let's quit shitting on a dude that won us a national title. Whether y'all, want to remember the good times or not. but yeah, so of course, get back into hockey a little bit. Sorry, I'm a little scattered. This will get better as it goes, and it will be a little more focused. But like I said, we're just trying to get this out of the way. I tried to do this like a week and a half ago, and I had a really bad time trying to figure out how to do it. So I'm going to do it this way and see where we go from there. And of course, the Detroit Red Wings, as I mentioned, had a game tonight against Montreal Canadiens. Doubled them up in shots and got beat 3-1. As far as I know, I turned the game off about a minute and a half because they very much so did exactly what any team that I particularly like right now does, and that's lose in head-scratching fashion. Yeah, when you have 25 shots on goal to like 4 or whatever it was at the end of the first period, and you literally are 2-1 on shots taken, and for whatever reason you just can't get a goal in, and you can't get stops. And tonight was a must-win, apparently. Like I said, getting back into it, but they haven't made the playoffs apparently since the iPhone 6 came out, which is fun to know. Considering that if I'm going to get back on this journey, that it's just going to be another team of misery along my many teams of misery. But yeah, now that being said, I've enjoyed getting back into that sport as well. It's sorry, but to put it not lightly, but to put it in perspective here, obviously the big news of the hockey week was Alexander Ovechkin surpassing Wayne Gretzky on the all-time goals list, and I saw that I don't know, there was a Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp clip that apparently the Patrick Subban or whatever was on the first take, and I don't know what was said, but long story short, the comparison to LeBron having the all-time scoring in the NBA was compared to Alexander Ovechkin getting the goal record. And I must say, like, North American sports broadcasters, or particularly United States of America sports broadcasters, quit disrespecting sports that aren't in your big three. So if it ain't basketball, if it ain't football, and really if it ain't those two, y'all don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Or baseball for that matter. As a Titans fan, I know y'all barely know what you're talking about when you're talking about my franchise and my team. So God forbid y'all make any comments about the achievement that Alexander Ovechkin made. And considering the physicality and considering how hockey goes and considering he was coming off a broken leg apparently at some point here lately in his career. Again, I'm catching up. So bear with me. I'll be a little more astute with my observations as we go here. And again, a little more poignant and a little more direct in my videos. I'll have tighter, cleaner notes, this, that, and the other, because I'm already jumped around my sheet like crazy. But goddamn, like, if anything, it's equally impressive. To me, it's more impressive, especially in the era of load management in the NBA and players being absurdly more in shape than they'd ever been. Like LeBron, hats off to you, my dude. And this isn't your fault. This is actually, again, United States of America's sportscasters. It's their fault for the narrative they've driven with you since you've come out of high school that everything has to be compared to you one way or the other. It's not your fault. But let's give Alexander Ovechkin his roses, and let's just say that having the all-time leading goal record in the NHL is probably up there with any record you could possibly have. I mean, barring like Jerry Rice's receiving records, and Tom Brady's now 7 Super Bowls and yada yada. 7, right? Again, I'll have better notes as we go here. But just to cap off this first episode, and like I said, I'm really just trying to get this started and get the momentum going, and now hold myself to a standard of releasing some kind of content here. I'm just going to do a quick summary of what the Lexington Sporting Club season has been so far, because I'm assuming if you're watching this, it's probably what you're least familiar with, or if you are familiar with it, then bear with me. I'm new to the sport, so my analysis and my presentation here is from a dude that literally showed up to the first game of the regular season this year and has been trying to figure out soccer for about a month now. And like I said, goddamn, I do love the sport. I've now attended 3 games. I've now watched about 2 or 3 of the games on TV as well. And we're in a weird spot. Go figure. It's a team that I support and see my like, so can't expect them to be good. Can't expect them to just be instantly great. But there are some highlights to talk about. They opened up the season against Hartford Athletic with a 2-0 shutout, and me and my girlfriend sat in the end. I would say end zone, but that's not a probably an appropriate term. But for me, whatever. We sat in the end zone behind the goalie, and just witnessing the true athleticism, the physicality, the accuracy of kicks and passes, and all the like, and the environment. 5K people on a cold fucking Lexington night. It was electric. It was absolutely electric. And the 2 other games that I've attended was against Indy 11, a 1-1 draw, which was electric as well. Going to a game and rooting for a tie when you're not used to doing that. But in soccer, it matters because you get that point. You get that 1 point. So, but rooting for the draw, them getting the draw, and giving the hope at the end that they could have won, and they looked like the better team all game long. It was like a reinforcement of what I already thought about the first game. And then the last game I went to was against San Antonio, a 3-2 loss. And to say the least, we went up 2-0 early. I had like 10 people at the game with me. We were rocking. $1.50 beer night. We were having a damn good time. But long story short, there's been like a theme of the season, I feel like. I think we are the most exciting soccer team I've watched. That was until the day when I watched Real Madrid versus Arsenal and saw some of the most incredible goals I've ever seen in my life. But beyond that, though, as far as the USL goals, goals. But as far as the USL goes, we're very up and down the field. I think we were tied with the league lead, or 1 shot off from the league lead in shots taken, which in soccer is no small feat. Getting your opportunities is a very calculated ordeal, and not just a foregone conclusion that you can get 10 plus shots a game. I think they're actually trailing just Louisville right now, according to the Crane Kicks podcast. Shout out, boys. Um, I think the problem that I've seen the most, and again, like I said, this is me learning soccer as I go. I hope my analysis gets better. I hope it's more accurate as we go. Is that when we are such an attacking squad that when we fail in certain attacks, the field flips quickly against us. And I don't know if it's a goalie thing. Like, I've seen some incredible saves in my time of watching soccer, but I've also seen you get stuck one on one, man. It's really hard to see where they're gonna go. Like penalty kicks, 99. Well, it's not 99. I think it's like a 74% conversion rate. But majority of the time, penalty kicks gonna go in, and that's just a one on one goalie mano a mano with the player. We get stuck in those situations way too often. And then in the case of the San Antonio game, it was like one of the most incredible goals I've seen in my life that made it 2-1. Penalty kick, which again, you just can't let happen. You let penalty kicks happen, it's going to be a bad day for you. And then the last goal was just that transitional goal I was talking about. Like when the field flips, it's for whatever reason, I don't feel like we were able to get in proper position to be able to slow it down and stop it, which I think was our problem this past week in El Paso too. It was the first game I got to watch with the regular lineup. They did have a U.S. Open Cup matchup against Columbus Crew 2, which was pretty fucking embarrassing because they lost to a team that was the average age of 18. But as I'm learning with soccer, that being 18 doesn't necessarily mean you're not great at what you do, and it doesn't mean that you can't go win a single game on any given day. But all that being said, they're on a slide right now. I think the record as it stands right now is 1 win outright with 2 draws and 2 losses, which puts us right in the middle of the pack. If you're not familiar, which some of you won't be, but a win gets you 3 points, draws get you 1. That's why you want to at least draw. If you can help it, draw. But I will say, like, this team has a lot going for it. I think that offensively, as I said, I think we're the most exciting team in USL. I've not watched everybody a lot, but I've kind of gotten to lay the land a little bit. I think the other best team that I've watched so far, and like I said, it's 1 month, there's 24 teams. I'm catching up. I just now got ESPN Plus to really try to sink my teeth in the rest of the league. But the most exciting team I've watched otherwise was the Charleston Battery. They had a really good game against the Tampa Bay Rowdies this past weekend. And then, beyond that, San Antonio has been really, really good. That game against us, a lesser team would have folded and we would have ran away with it. It'd have been like a 4-0 game. They're the best team in the West right now, or at least they're potentially tied for it now. They did lose to the Phoenix Rising this past weekend, but that was their first loss of the season. But if you're in Lexington and you're interested in trying to do something different or something new, go see your boy Marcus Epps play some soccer with the Lexington Sporting Club. That's probably my early season MVP, which, what can you say? I don't know much, but I know every time that dude has the ball, electric things happen. Kieran Sargent, he's been a very, very awesome player to watch up close. I've sat pretty much right where he was playing on defense multiple times now, and dude's the one thing defensively that I can point to and go, all right, that dude's solid. So don't think they need to make any changes there. Nick Firmino, Brazilian player, he's exciting to watch. Kind of controls all the things in the middle, and then you got Corey Burke, who's come on last few weeks, scored some goals. I'd like to see how they go with Goldthorpe, who's coming off the bench, get a little more play. I think pretty much everybody that is familiar right now is calling for him to play. And the only other point I can make right now, as far as the team on the field goes, is that maybe make a change at goalkeeper and see what happens. Obviously, I don't know anything, but Logan Ketterer, I think, could perform a little better in these situations. But we'll take that with a grain of salt. And like I said, we'll tune in this weekend when they play the Las Vegas Lights and see if anything things are changing. Because like I said, it's just troubling trends when just watching sports as a whole. You don't want to see bad trends, and the way we're losing right now and the way we're giving up goals just seems like there's common threads in there. So I'd like to see that change. But again, if you're wanting to check something else out in the sports world, you're in the Lexington area, I can't say enough about the game day experience. You can get in and out of the parking lot within minutes, like singular minutes, even after the game. They're averaging 4,500 people, and there's only one road in and out that I know of. Takes us like 5 minutes to get out. So if you're worried about traffic, it's away from downtown. I know I've seen the soccer zombie, shouts out, do a video where he dinged that as a negative for our game day experience. I can understand that. If you're coming from out of state and you're looking to experience Lexington at its fullest, it is a bit of a bummer that you can't just go have a drink downtown and walk to the stadium or anything. But as a local, I appreciate being able to stay the fuck away from downtown at all costs. So take that what you will. Food, hella affordable. I know there's $3 hot dogs. Pretzels aren't that much. They're not that great. But I'm hoping that's just something they're trying to figure out because I love me some fucking pretzels. They got West Six Tenths, my favorite local brewery. You get a 50 or 32 ounce IPA for $15. And I know $15 sounds steep, but when you got that high alcohol content and you don't have to go back right away and you want to go watch the game, it's the perfect beer price, honestly. And it's very affordable to go. You can spend $15. You can sit anywhere in the stadium you want. Well, within reason. Obviously, somebody wants their seats, they want their seats, but there's plenty of space to move around. And hell, if you want to check out 3 or 4 spots, you can go check out 3 or 4 spots. I, for one, I'm probably going to go sit with the Railbirds next time because I want to go sing some songs, bang on some drums, and sit in the smoke bombs and yada yada, all the stuff that soccer entails. But yeah, I I rate my experience with going to those games as an A+ so far. Beautiful grounds, and as you watch throughout the rest of the USL, as beautiful as grounds as I've seen so far. Um, Something went boom in the other room. Hell yeah, I got 2 cats, so who knows? But but yeah, um, I think that's about gonna wrap it up though. Go see an LSC game. That's really the main part of this. Here in a couple weeks, we'll cover the Tennessee Titans selection of Cam Ward because it's pretty much a foregone conclusion unless something crazy happens. And then, like I said, that's my first big project is all 32 teams, arrow up, arrow down. How do I feel? And I'm probably going to ping pong it back and forth. So start with the Titans. They're who I know the best. And I'll probably do the second episode about the Eagles, Super Bowl champs, and then probably just ping pong the draft order. Go back to the Browns, go back to the Chiefs, whatever the actual order is. I'll have to look into that. So any NFL fans, and those episodes will be directly about the team, and they'll probably be shorter, probably about 10, 12 minutes at the most. I can't imagine being able to talk for any extended amount of time outside of maybe the Titans pick, because I've been through this new quarterback rodeo one too many times. Hooray, Vince Young and Marcus Mariota and Jake Locker. And the greatest of the greats in the pantheon of shit quarterbacks. Which, to be fair, I was a fan of most of those guys still. Um, but yeah, so life of Langley Sports. I hope I can get this up with no problems, and I hope y'all stick with me. I hope to have a Patreon going. I hope to have better production quality. I hope to just do more. Um, so if you want to get on this journey with me, come on. I'm going to start this in the dead part of the year and kind of start trying to read up. Hopefully by the start of next hockey season, I'm a little more knowledgeable. Hopefully by sometime by the end of this soccer season, I know even more than what I know. I do know I'm going to watch Aston Villa, Geezer Butler's favorite soccer team, play tomorrow afternoon on Paramount Plus. But yeah, beyond that, stay safe out there. Consume some more sports. And if you have any ideas for shit that you just want my opinion on, by all means, send them my way. All right. Thank you. Love you.